Hello. Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. I hope everyone can hear me okay. Hello, hello. Oh, I'm gonna take this down for a moment. That's what we're going to be getting to today. Hello. I hope the BGM, I hope the BGM isn't too loud. Hello. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. Oh, my hands got stuck. Hello, hello. I think class is starting now. I think so. I have an apple on my desk. I got some tea. I hope you all have a very, very nice snack. It's low. Okay, well, it's low now. As long as you can hear me, then audio is good. Okay, yeah. As long as it's not too loud. I do want to keep it in the background just so it's like a little bit of extra something. Tell me about your day. I know Mondays are hard. Mondays are very hard. It is. It's time to settle who is going to be best girl. So, this is the plan. We all have waifus, right? We all have waifus, and we always fight to say who is our best girl and how we can try to convince our friends, how we can try to convince our colleagues who is the best girl. And we all have different taste. Oh, it's Tuesday for you. Oh, that's interesting. Ah, so you are in the future then. So it's still Monday for me then. Yes, Miss B had a wonderful lesson earlier with how to calculate gacha. I was able to tune in for a little bit, and I think I'm gonna be careful with my gacha spending from now on. I think it's good to be careful with your gacha spending, but now that we're in English class, we're going to be talking about waifus, and we're going to be talking about how you can make your arguments better to compare and contrast which girls are better than other girls. So, I wanted to do a few examples for everyone here. So I know that I put Asuka and Rei from Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion, in the thumbnail, but we don't have to use them if we don't want to. We could use other waifus too. But I know that for Asuka and Rei, it is the tale as old as time. It is like, I want to say it's like one of the oldest like waifu wars, probably. So, we are going to compare and contrast some characters. So what do we do first when we compare and contrast? It's been over 20 years, I know. It has been over 20 years for the whole Rei and Asuka shenanigans. So we can do some ancient weeb examples, or we can do some modern ones too. So the thing is though, we're gonna have to pick some waifus, even for like some ones that are maybe even for now. I think I know like some people really enjoy Darling in the Franxx, right? We have 02 and oh gosh, what was the what was the blue-haired girl? What was her name again? I feel like this is my problem. If I limit myself to like a waifu, then I don't usually remember the other ones' names. It was Ichigo? I think it was Ichigo. I think it was. Good job. A++ to everybody in chat. So we could even compare 02 and Ichigo. We can compare, I'm trying to think of some other anime that have like aired recently. And the reason why I'm using anime as well is because usually when your teachers want you to compare and contrast characters, they want you to compare and contrast characters from like older books, right? But we're not going to do that. We're gonna keep it modern. Why not? It's a little bit fun this way, and I think it's more engaging. Ooh. Tanjiro and Gyu, yes. That's the thing, we can even compare and contrast husbandos. It doesn't have to be waifus, but we can use these as examples. Rem and Emilia, everybody always talks about Rem and Emilia. Funny thing, I have a friend who really likes Emilia. I'm more of a Rem person, but I'm just gonna say that. So we can talk about that. We can talk about a few things, a few different waifus, maybe a few different husbandos, and we're going to do some examples near the end of the lesson, but we need to... Oh gosh, Naruto and Sasuke, of course. Sasuke! 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 So we can do Rem and Emilia. We can do, let me see here, the Konosuba girls. Although I find that for Konosuba, there's a lot of great waifus for Konosuba. Kind of hard. There's a lot of great waifus for Konosuba, I'm not gonna lie. And it's hard to say because I feel like a lot of the girls in Konosuba, they're amazing. It's really hard. It's hard to pick between them, in my opinion. I like a lot of the girls in Konosuba. So I will get to the lesson right here. I'm going to show everyone how to compare and contrast. So this is our lesson objective. So you will practice comparing and expressing similarities and contrasting. So maybe some people don't know what contrasting means. So we know when we're comparing something, we're comparing between two different things. So when we contrast, we're talking about the differences between those different things. So we're expressing the differences in written English. So we can start with some brainstorming. And I know some people, I know brainstorming is like the most tedious part. It's the part that is the most hard to get started because you're thinking like, well, what should I even do? What should I even talk about? So this is how we kind of like warm up ourselves. In my opinion, like when I start to try to think about if I need to start an essay, I try to talk to somebody. I try to talk to somebody who has no idea what the source material is. And I think this is a good thing because if I had to talk to my family or if I had to talk to my friends about the source material, they would be asking me like, well, what is this character? Or like, who are they? How old are they? Are they a boy or a girl? What else? What clothes do they wear? Lots of things like that. So I think, in my opinion, it's the best to try to explain something to somebody, because you probably all know it in your head, but somebody else doesn't. You got talking about the sauce. So think about two people. It could be your friends, maybe family members, or celebrities. Ooh, celebrities. Amazing. Who have similarities, or maybe their gender, maybe their age, or maybe some differences. It could be like personality or nationality. So that could be something too. So maybe, for example, when we're thinking about Rei and Asuka, we know that Asuka, if I'm not wrong, she's from Germany, right? And then she's also like part Japanese. And then Rei is Rei. I don't know if I want to get into spoiler territory, but it has been over 20 years since Eva. There's some interesting things with Rei that happen later in the series, let's just say. So one of the ways we can do comparing and contrasting is we can use a Venn diagram, and I will show you what a Venn diagram looks like. Yes, she is from Germany. Okay, perfect. Good to know. So we need to take notes in the point and describe character traits of the two people that we choose. So if both people share a characteristic, we put them in the middle. So the differences go on the outside and the similarities go in the middle. So we can do that. We're doing a Venn diagram for waifus. Isn't that fascinating? So if some people are not familiar what a Venn diagram looks like, this is just one way you can brainstorm. It doesn't have to be the way you can brainstorm, but it's just one way. Something that I like to do, I'm a little bit more messy. I like to just like do one of those like web diagrams where I can kind of like write things like all over the place. And I like to take notes kind of like as a list. So that's something we can do. So for the Venn diagram, you see that there's similarities between the two characters, and then we have the differences. You're confused. It's okay. We're going to do it together. So you draw two big circles. It could be on paper, or you could even take a screenshot and you can use it in MS Paint if you want to. So we are going to compare two characters. Let's see here. We could... I did put Asuka and Rei in the thumbnail. We could do those characters. That's just going to be an example. So we're going to compare two characters. I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put like a... I should have added like a third one in here. Oops. Here, give me a moment and I will... Whoop. I'm going to fix this... I'm going to fix this table. I'm actually going to add a third one in. Okay. There we go. I think that should show up nice. Oh, it's interesting. It's not showing like the split right here. Okay. So this is kind of what we're going to do. What are some qualities from Rei from Evangelion? I think some people know about Evangelion here. Here, let me see. Let me look up a picture of Rei. Evangelion. Rei is the one with the blue hair, and Asuka is the one with the red hair. Red-ish hair. Ooh, that's interesting. I see how you said kudre. So Rei is like a kudre. So maybe some people might not know about that, but she's very like cool. Maybe she's like very calm. So that could be something. She's chill as fuck. She is chill as fuck. You know what? We can say that too. She's chill AF. There we go. She has the short hair. Her color scheme is blue. Let me see, her outfit is white. She has a white plug suit. I'm gonna just go down a little bit more here. Something about Rei, she doesn't die. That's true. So that's later on in the series, but she doesn't die. She doesn't die. I think I might have to make this text just a little bit smaller, but I wanted to make sure it was bigger for everyone to read. There we go. So that's okay. There we go. She has very light colors. She's not boing boing. Okay, that's okay. She has the light colors. Excuse me if I write colors with a U. That's how we do it in Canada. Let's just say Rei has boing boing in other source materials, I suppose, but not the source material. We can talk about personality and we can talk about looks too. So maybe we should try to talk a little bit about Asuka as well. What are some things about Asuka that you know about? Some things about Asuka. You know what? I'm actually going to pull up, Must be like an Ava, like, wiki. Or you know what? You could also Google it yourself too, if you want to. She's angry. She's angry. She's loud. Maybe she's mad a lot. Maybe she could be annoying to some people. She could be. She has hot colors. So that is different from Rei's characters. So she has hot colors. She has like red colors. She has... Wait, so we said that Rei has short hair. So Asuka has like longer hair. He does have the longer hair, so she's different in that way. Inferiority complex? That is true, she does. She has an inferiority complex. I'm sorry, I know. It's okay. We're doing well. It's okay. We'll still find good qualities between the both of them too. That's where the similarities are gonna come into play. It's okay, interesting. Chad is Team Ray. Fascinating, fascinating. But you know what? We're gonna have a twist at the end. So just hold your water at the end, or hold your glass. We're gonna have a fun twist. Let's see here. Is there anything else about Asuka? We know that she has short hair. Or sorry, Ray has the short hair and she has the blue hair. Asuka has like red hair, or we can say like reddish hair, perhaps. Interesting. And we also know that she has a red plug suit too. She does. I guess it depends on the source material. Sometimes Asuka might not be alive. She might not be. We don't know. She does lose an eye in the rebuild. I guess this is going to be interesting if we're going to have to keep in mind the rebuild or if we're going to think about the original material. Interesting to bring up though. She has emotions. That's interesting. It seems that Rei almost lacks emotions. Almost. Sometimes she might. Maybe to the appearance of other people, she might lack emotions. But for Asuka, she might have, we could say, real emotions. She's very emotional. Okay, let's not get too vicious in chat though. We need to be good boys and girls, good students. So we need to think about similarities between Rei and Asuka. We know that they are both girls and they go to the same school and they are both pilots. Oh my god. Wait. I can't spell. So they are both pilots. What are some other things that we could say? Ooh, they were very awkward to each other in the elevator. That's true, that's true. And they both, yeah, that's true. We can say they both know Shinji. Shinji, my boy. They both got ass. Well, we can both say they're very attractive. Or maybe Shinji thinks that they're both very attractive. We can I wonder if that can be an objective way to look at it or not, but maybe Shinji thinks they're both attractive. Maybe. We don't know. Maybe until later. They're literally child soldiers. Yes. There's always like a little bit of problems when it comes to anime, right? Yes, that is important to note too. So, those are some similarities and we have some differences. It's almost like a duality for Shinji. That's kind of an interesting point there. So it's kind of like almost like two sides of a coin, right? So you got like your emotional side, your loud and angry, your hot-headedness kind of side, and then we have the blue, like the very chill and calming kind of side too. So yeah, it's almost like a duality for like Shinji. Shinji's in the middle there. But we're not going to talk too much about Shinji. We're going to talk about the two girls. I did write Shinji twice, yeah. They both know Shinji. And maybe he thinks they're attractive, but that's kind of getting into like what he thinks though. But we know that they're girls, they go to the same school. Maybe we can say that they're similar in age. We can say that too. So those are like a few things between two characters. They're very, very different. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to bring up that. Usually when it comes to characters, you want to keep them very different as well, like when it's like writing a story. But we're going to go back. We are going to go back to our Venn diagram here. So If you wanted to write what was different about two characters, it did not have to be about Rei and Asuka, but that is our example. Rei and Asuka were the examples, but you could choose different characters if you want to as well. We are going to go down. We're going to go down to our warm-up. So, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Discuss these questions with a partner. So if you want to talk about this with somebody else, it could even be in chat, or it can be like maybe someone from your family if you're trying to work on your own personal essay, or if you want to talk about this with your friends too. It's completely up to you. I think it's better to talk about it with someone because you get more ideas that way. Who did you choose and write about, and why? In what ways are these people similar, and in what ways are these people different? How are your two people different from the two people your partner chose, and how are they similar? So if you wanted to grab a partner on your own time, this is something to do on your own time too. But I wanted to get also into a little bit of vocabulary as well. So I do want to give people maybe like a little bit of time here. I know, it's kind of hard. It's like nobody to discuss it with, maybe if you don't want to do it in chat. This is kind of like the thing, like it's like different for a classroom setting, right? But if you wanted to do it on your own time, this is something that you can do in like forums and stuff too. There's a lot of people always like discussing things on like, I don't know, Twitter and other platforms about who is the superior waifu and the waifu wars. So we have a few vocabulary things to discuss too. We have some overlap, point form, what is relevant, strike a balance, transition, resemble, whereas, scrutiny, pale in comparison, correlation. So this is something that I wanted to do a little bit with everybody as well. I could be a good teacher and just give you the answers. Do you want me to give you the answers? I can just be like, hey, that's A, that's B. Or I can give you a little bit of moment. Don't spoil the answers. I will give you. I'll give you like, how about like 5 minutes? Does that sound good? Does that sound good? So here's a few things. You get to match them with the proper definition here. But it's okay. I feel like when it comes to learning vocabulary, it's good to see what you think first, and then it's good to see like the answers after. Use your big brain, everybody. I believe in you. You can do this. So some of the things here, so it doesn't mean that it goes across like this. You got to match them. You got to match them with each other. Ooh, some people are already done? Oh my gosh. You're fast. You're very fast. Use those words often then? That's good. Good practice. I feel like when it comes to university and college, I find personally for university, they want you to have like an expanded vocabulary. They want you to almost like make your essays very fluffy. You can use a lot of wordy language when you're in university, but I know for college, they want you to be very, very concise with your words, and they want you to get to the point. So I personally find that college papers are a little bit more concise, a little bit more to the point, whereas like if you're going to be doing very, very lengthy papers in university, they want you to have like very, very long papers, usually. Whatever fills the word count, right? Oh boy. I know that there's a few tricks online for word count too, but it's good to do it properly for practice, I'll say. You don't like writing the fluff? I know. I feel like I personally can write things pretty fluffy as well, and I think I'm trying to learn myself to get to the point and be more concise as I get older. You're used to writing essays and reports then? Ah. It's very good practice. Very, very good. It makes things sound flowery. Exactly, exactly. Yes, when it comes to adjectives, adjectives always describe the noun, right? So you're trying to make things sound as pretty and presentable. Ah, I see then. That's the thing. It's very different, like, per professors. Like, some professors are like, no, I just want you to, like, write a very concise paper. Or some professors, they really want you to have those very lengthy papers. Oh, I love using a thesaurus. I always have thesaurus.com open all the time. It's one of, let me see here. I always abuse this website all the time. I think maybe I would like to do a lesson about, like, good resources as well. I think it's always good to use your thesaurus. Let's see. I know it hasn't been 5 minutes, but would you like me to continue? It's good, yes. I think I actually would like to make a lesson about how to cite your sources properly, too. I think it's very important to where to find your sources. Okay. Oh my goodness. We got some answers, too. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna move down for just a moment. Here. Give me just 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Give me just a moment. Because I'm going to make another paper where we can write down the answers too. Okay. Okay. Oopsie. And we got that one. Okay. And we got 9. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to go back here. I don't want you looking at my very cultured material on my computer, let's just say. Okay. There we go. Now we can do this. Okay, so A, overlap. To share the same space as at some point. So overlap, you're overlapping the same space. And I think a lot of people know that. So number 2, point form. So that is D. So D, a short written format, not full sentences. So point form is to keep something very, very short. Just like what we were doing above, we weren't writing full sentences. We were just like listing ideas. 3, relevant. So 3 is I, important, and it mattering to someone. So relevant information is very important information that has to link your ideas. So then the next one we have is 4. So striking a balance. Striking a balance is E, to find a way to show or represent both sides. So we got to here. I'm going to move this over just a little bit more here. So you got to strike a balance, both sides. And then we have C, transition. And it's very important to use transitional words when you're writing your essay, and it can be very difficult to do transitional words. A lot of things people will say is like, for example, for instance, also, so things that you're trying to link your ideas together. So it's like kind of like going like next, then, after, let's see, 6 we have is G. So to look similar to. So resemble is to look similar to something. It resembles something similar. And then we have 7, whereas, H. So in contrast, or it's a conjunction. Whereas this. And then we have 8, scrutiny. So it is a careful or detailed investigation. Scrutiny is to like look at something very, very carefully, or to like scrutinize something. And then we have 9, which is F, not to be nearly as good or high quality as something else. Pale in comparison. So maybe if you said to someone, ugh, your waifu, it's your waifu, pale in comparison to my waifu. So not to be as good or high quality as something else. And then we have number 10, correlation. So a correlation is a connection that both things or people share. So, oh, maybe I can actually make that a little bit bigger there. Is everyone able to see? And that's okay. Maybe you got some of the right answers. I know that I feel like it's a little good to like look at your vocabulary and then you're going to look at it later to get the right corrections. So it's okay. You're able to see then? That's good. I want to try to keep the fonts big for everyone. This is helpful? Okay, that's good. I'm glad. I'm really, really glad. Is it okay if we move on to our next examples? We're going to do some sentences now. Ray is pale in comparison to... Oh, wait, Ray and Asuka are pale in comparison to the one true wife. Oh. We have some interesting other theories. We have some other waifus we can compare them to, too. Exactly, we can. Misato. We have some other waifus in Evangelion as well, that is true. Okay, so we'll go on to the next part then. So I'm just going to minimize this. We're going to go on to comparing and contrasting in English. So when we compare and contrast things, this doesn't have to be just for essays. If you want to improve your English to write better reviews, if you purchase something on Amazon or maybe another website, you can do that. So we use comparing and contrasting to compare and contrast essays. We can respond to a compare and contrast text. We can review products online or maybe in person as well, review books and movies, and we can compare theories or ideas. It's kind of like bouncing back and forth ideas off of other people, right? We can describe personal experiences, and we can describe characteristics as well. And the most important thing is if you have something very, very difficult that you have to think about, maybe you have to think about the pros and cons about a very, very difficult decision you have to make. So maybe here's some things. Maybe, how was the cruise? Was it better than your last trip? Maybe if we're talking about like vacations or traveling, perhaps. There is no comparison. We will never use any other cruise line. So the expression "there is no comparison" means it is not worth comparing the two things. In other words, A is so much better than B, and B is not worth mentioning. So maybe you've heard somebody say, "there is no comparison." We will never use any other cruise line. So you could tell someone like, there is no comparison between these things. It's much, much more better. So, next, we're going to describe or define. Comparing and contrasting can be used to describe certain qualities of two people, places, or things. So for example, in a literary essay, or you may compare and contrast two characters. When deciding what to compare, think about the following questions. So what is interesting and what is relevant? What is interesting to the text and what is relevant to the text when you're trying to compare things and contrast things? So imagine, okay, that there's two characters from your favorite movie, or maybe in this case, your favorite anime, and think about 3 points about them to compare and contrast. Okay, so those are some things we can think about. think about 3 points about them. So we did that a little bit earlier. Let me go back to our other document here. So there's a few things that we did. We talked about Rei, we talked about Asuka, and we talked about how they're similar too in some ways. So we can do that. We could even write some sentences about that. Rei is a cool, maybe Rei is a character with, let's see, how can we describe Rei in the best way possible? I'm actually going to make this a little bit bigger. Rei is a character from, I'll just write it short for Evangelion, who is maybe described, or we can say who appears to be emotionless, or maybe even calm. So there's a few things that you can even describe Rei. Maybe for Asuka, Asuka is a character from Evangelion, maybe who appears to be maybe haughty or very emotional, or maybe very emotional. And then we can even describe that further for, like, for example, she is very calm, with a cool appearance, or like very she's very calm with a quiet demeanor. And maybe for Asuka, for example, she is a very reactive. Maybe she's very reactive. There we go. Oops. Sometimes even teachers type too fast. Ooh, that's interesting. Rei is a young, blue-haired girl from Evangelion who is usually very calm and collected to the point of appearing very stoic. I like the word stoic. That looks really good. I like that one. So maybe, there we go. Ooh. So Rei is a character from Evangelion who's calm, collected, and emotionally stunted. Asuka, also from Evangelion, is passionate, self-conscious, and has a sizable temper. Ooh, that's good. And you know what I like that everybody is doing? You're working with threes. So you're saying like this, this, and this. I feel like that's really, really good. Amazing. I feel like you always want to say things like in 3. That's awesome. Good job. Look at you. Look at you, amazing students. So it's good to say things in 3s. Your professors and your teachers will really, really like that. Really, really like that. Good examples. You know what? I'm going to bring this down a little bit. We can even put those examples on the word list. Woo! There we go. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Because I'm using YouTube dark appearance, it appears dark this way. So these are some ways. There we go. We can describe Rei and Asuka as well. Okay, let's go to the next part then. Or actually, you know what? I will read them for everybody who's going to be watching the VOD after. So, Rei is a young blue-haired girl from Evangelion who is usually very calm and collected to the point of appearing completely stoic. Rei is a character in Evangelion who is calm, collected, and emotionally stunted. Asuka, also from Evangelion, is passionate, self-conscious, and has a sizable temper. Nice, nice. So, sometimes people like to compare their vacation choices as well, or you can compare like points, and you can compare lots of different things like this way too. Okay, so we can get into thesis statements as well. So, Thesis statements, I feel that are always very, very difficult because it's almost like you have to work your way backwards in some ways to write your essay. So, in every essay, it is important to include a thesis statement, and I think I would like to make like a separate live stream for like how to make good thesis statements. It's very interesting because everyone can word their thesis statements very differently, but what that means is you need to pick what you're arguing for or what you're going to be talking about for your essay. So it has to be in your introduction, and your thesis tells your reader your basic argument. So in a compare and contrast essay, writing a thesis statement is quite simple, actually. It's one of the simpler ways of doing this. So you can use one of the methods below. Make sure that your choice is obvious in your thesis. So you have to decide very clearly who is going to be like considered better than the other character, right? Later, you will learn about evaluating similarities and differences too. So, strike a balance between similarities and differences. Focus mainly on the similarities and focus mainly on the differences. This is if you want to have a very, this is if you want to have like a shorter essay as well, because I think it's very easy to compare two different characters who are vastly different. So, here's an example right here. Whether you like Hunger Games or maybe whether you don't, here's an example. The plot differences in the Hunger Game books and movies are minor. However, it is the different points of view that really set the book and movie apart. So this is talking about the movie and the books then, and how the plot differences are minor. There's not that many differences. There's a way to use the semicolon as well. You can use it right before, however. So that can be if you're talking about maybe a series in general. So maybe in some ways, if you wanted to talk about Evangelion, I know some people mentioned in chat that you can talk about the Rebuild series. Maybe when we talk about the original Evangelion series and the movies, are they different? Are they similar? There's some similarities, but there's some differences too. And I don't know if some people can tell, but I'm really excited for the number 4 movie. I'm very excited for number 4. It's been a few years. So here are some ways that you can compare and contrast adjectives as well. So we know that adjectives are the describing words that we're going to be doing to describe the noun. Yeah, it's like 3.0.1.0, let's go. Let's go, Evangelion 4. So, major things, we can say words like pronounced or striking or maybe very, very clear. The differences maybe are very, very clear and they're very notable. They are evident. They are significant. This is the thing that I think a lot of people can struggle with, usually when it comes to the English language. There's a lot of words that mean the same thing, but you can use them in different ways, right? There's lots of synonyms. There's lots and lots of synonyms in the English language. So usually if the differences are very minor, I guess when we think of major, big. We're talking about like big differences, and then minor, very small differences. Subtle, insignificant, minimal, not obvious. So there's a few examples that we can kind of like plug in things right over here. And I think I'm going to move over a little bit so everyone can see a little bit more. So this is something you can do on your own time too. Fill in the blanks to create thesis statements to compare and for your compare and your contrast essay. You can use topics you wrote about, the ones that we kind of practiced together above. It doesn't have to be Rei or Asuka, but it could be different waifus that you really, really feel passionate about. Maybe the similarities between this character and this character are maybe evident. They are evident. Or we can say maybe they are significant. Maybe the differences between this character and this character are minimal. Maybe there's not too much differences, or maybe for similarities, maybe there's not too many similarities. So we can go to that, and maybe for this and this have many similarities, but you can kind of argue against that in your own words too. And then for number 4, maybe this and this have few something differences. However, so this, I think number 4 can be a pretty good thesis statement if you wanted to do something like that. So definitely when it comes to Rei and Asuka, their differences are major. They're huge. Maybe we can say their differences are evident, significant. The differences are very clear. Maybe, however you want to talk about something else that interests you to bring them together. Okay. So let's look at a few compare and contrast patterns then. There are a few different patterns you can choose when writing compare and contrast essays. It is a good idea to choose one before starting an outline and writing an introduction. So these are a few examples too. Maybe looking at different cities, you can compare and contrast different cities. This example is using New York and LA. Describe maybe traveling to New York, describe traveling to LA, but we can use even more waifus. I was thinking we could even use Rem and Amelia then. Do we want to use Rem and Amelia, or maybe we can do a few different waifus, perhaps? Let's see. Maybe the differences between Amelia and Rem are... Do you think Rem and Amelia are different in lots of ways? Everybody take a drink of water if you need to drink some water as well. It's okay. It doesn't even have to be Rem and Amelia. Let's see. Let's say maybe Zero, 2, and Ichigo. Gosh, it's kind of I'd say maybe for 2 as a character. 2 is very... She can do what she wants and she's not very hesitant, but I think for Ichigo she's very hesitant. Kazuma, the master of Konosuba. Yes. Kazuma is very interesting. Of course, you can go to the bathroom if you need to go to the bathroom. Of course. Let me see. So we can do the differences between 2 and Ichigo are, let's say, significant, or we can say clear. The differences are significant. Or we can say maybe there's a few different... It's always interesting to like write an essay because you can always say like a few different things. Maybe 2 and Ichigo. Maybe have a few, maybe we can say significant differences. However, they both display their affection. Oh my gosh, what was the main character of Darling the Franxx again? Oh my gosh, what was his name? They both display their affection for... Oh my god, what was his name? It was something... It was... I know that she called him darling. Yeah, instead of a few, we can say very significant differences. That's a good point. That is a good point. Hero! Oh my god, his name was Hero because he's the hero. We can say they both display their affection towards Hero. And they do display their affection to Hero in other ways. Like, it could be... We can say that for 02, how she displayed her affection. 02 is very, maybe, obvious. Yeah, I know, it's trying to think back about, like, anime characters' names, right? For, like, oh, gosh. I find that usually when it comes to, like, certain male characters, it's really hard to, like, remember their names. Sometimes I think they're, like, a little bit generic for, like, some guy characters' names, but that's just my opinion, though. Maybe 02 is very obvious while showing affection if we want to think about, like, more, like, brainstorming activities, too. And then, Ichigo is, ooh, how can we describe her? She's kind of, like, doting on him. But, like, she doesn't, like, say anything until, like, almost, like, the very end of, like, almost near the very end of the series, I think. It is reversed. Yeah, almost, yeah. Ooh, pining could be another one. So there's, oh gosh, that's the thing when it comes to English. You can say so many different things. Or Ichigo. Pines on Hero, like, throughout the series. Let me see here. And it's always good to change things. Like, you can always, like, sometimes, like, when it comes to, like, writing stuff down, you could always, like, scratch it out and, like, rearrange your sentences. Because you can rearrange your sentences in so many ways. I do it all the time. So those are some ways that we can even describe some, like, different characters there for, like, when it comes to showing affection. And, like, then you can ask somebody, so it's like, how do they show affection? When do they show affection? And things like that. So it's always good to also have some similarities in there too, but that could be for something else. I'm just gonna work my way down here because I think this is something that's a little bit interesting when it comes to phrases and contrasting, and also just using, like, I feel that using transitional words and words that go in between are very, very difficult to think up. I know that there's a few websites that you can look up for, like, transitional words, but I feel that this is personally one of my favorite, or not favorite. This is one of my most difficult things that I have problems with when it comes to writing essays myself. Finding those words to try to go in between. So we have some words and phrases. So you already know, like, probably a few different transitional words, and if you need to look up transitional words for essays, those are the ones that are good to look up. To use for comparing and contrasting, here is a reference page. So here is something that I can give to you right now. Here are some words that we can use. So, words and phrases for comparing. Just as, likewise, also, similarly, X resembles Y in that, X is similar to Y because, just like, in a related way, By the same token, in a similar fashion, at the same rate, in the same manner, or in the same way. So, we can use some also additional transitional words for contrasting, unlike, but, in a different way, in contrast. I just use this one a lot. I think it's just very to the point. We have whereas, while, as opposed to, no relation between, there's no comparison, or in comparison, differ from, more than, less than, on the contrary, however. I tend to use however and although a lot. So I always try to have to think about a different way to explain that. Despite, conversely, nevertheless. So here are some examples that we can look at here. Oop. Just as Wendy fell in love unexpectedly, her sister found the man of her dreams in a surprising way. The Beatles are popular in Japan in the same way as they are in the UK and America. So the book has a sad ending. Likewise, people were sobbing at the end of the movie. My mother wanted what was best for me. Similarly, my father always made sure I went to the best schools. Australia resembles New Zealand in that they both have tropical coastlines. And a few more on this side as well. So, however, Toronto can be very smoggy in the summertime. So Toronto is a city in Canada. On the contrary, the book went into too much detail. The preschool offers free lunches. In comparison, the early years center offers an affordable meal plan. Unlike the outdoor rink, the indoor rink gets cleared every hour. Everything is within walking distance here, whereas we had to take public transit at our old place. So, maybe if you want to, you could take a screenshot of like these words. I think they're very useful if you need to compare and contrast things. So, maybe in contrast, we can say for like Rei and Asuka, Asuka is very reactive and very stubborn. Also, she has a very quick temper. In contrast, Rei is very calm, collected, almost emotionless. So there's a few ways that we can use that. So if you want to, you can take a screenshot of these if you would like. And you can also take screenshots during the VOD too, so no worries. The VOD will also be up for everyone's access. So there's a few ways you can do also evaluating and concluding. There's also a model text that I can read out to everyone as well. Give me just one moment. Yes, okay. So we'll do one more. I just want to show everyone for also evaluating and concluding. So be careful not to overuse transition words. This can be tricky in a compare and contrast essay. I feel that you need to be careful because if you use too many transitional words, I think the teachers start to notice. So you just got to be careful with how you say things. Set side by side, X and Y are. So in comparison with X and Y is, Z distinguishes X from Y. There appears to be a close relation between X and Y. After careful scrutiny, X and Y are. It's like you're trying to show off what your evaluation is at the very end of your essay, right? So you have to show like you're kind of like proving your point. So after this examination, X and Y prove to be neither X or Y, both X and Y. X and Y are equal in terms of, X pales in comparison to Y. So maybe I've seen that there's a lot of Ray fans in here. If you wanted to say Ray or maybe Asuka pales in comparison to Ray, if we're Ray fanboys and girls here. X and Y have Z in common. Oh, maybe they have a few. Maybe they have a few things in common. Maybe Ray and Asuka have like these traits in common. Maybe I've noticed in Evangelion, there's a lot of people who are scared for like the end of the world, or they don't even know what's coming at like the end of the world. Or there's a lot of things that everyone's scared about in Evangelion. Ray and Asuka are both scared in different ways, or maybe the similar ways too. On the one hand, or on the other hand, although I am going to criticize this one because I don't know if you should use this one in a university essay, but if you use it in a high school essay, I think this would be fine. On one hand or on the other hand, I think that's a little bit too informal. You want to keep your writing, I think, a little bit more formal if you're in a university or college setting. One clear difference between X and Y is there is no correlation between X and Y. So, when you look at these phrases, you can take another screenshot if you would like to. I think these phrases would be very, very useful when you look at your Venn diagram. As it actually points out for here, when you look at your warm-up for how you're trying to find your ideas for your essay, you can try to use these words, phrases for evaluating, and then you can create your sentences. Apples to oranges. Okay. We'll do a little bit of reading. I can read it out loud to you, and then I will send you off to go to recess. And you can have fun with your day. So, let's take a look at this. Identify the thesis and roadmap statement and underline the words and expressions used to compare, contrast, and evaluate. Ooh, I feel like this is like a little bit of fun. Comparing apples to oranges. They say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but what about an orange? Both apples and oranges have nutritious benefits, but only one comes out on top. By comparing and contrasting the vitamins, minerals, and sugar content in these two fruits, it is possible to determine which one should be consumed on a daily basis. Ah, I think I kind of found their thesis right there. Right around this area, they're telling you exactly what they're going to talk about at the beginning. Most people know that oranges are a great source of vitamin C. Vitamin C is important for our immune system. A single orange has 110% of your required daily intake. That's about 8 times more vitamin C than a medium-sized apple. But vitamin C isn't the only vitamin we need. Both apples and oranges contain vitamin B6. The vitamin is important for brain development. Oranges offer slightly more B6 than apples. Dang. Okay. So we already know that they're going to be talking about which vitamins are going to be better then. Apples and oranges also contain important minerals. So now we're on the topic of minerals. So at the beginning here, this is something that I wanted to talk about maybe in a different live stream. We're looking at their topic sentences for each paragraph as well. So they both contain about the same amount of potassium. This is necessary for maintaining blood pressure. Calcium is another important material. A single orange contains about 6% of the calcium that you need in a day, whereas apples contain almost none. Apples, on the other hand, are high in, oh my gosh, how do you pronounce this word? How do you pronounce that? I don't know. I am going to check.
Quercetin.
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 Quercetin. Interesting. Okay. That's what I always do. If I don't know a word, I try to check the pronunciation. Interesting. Okay. This is a cancer-fighting antioxidant that oranges lack. So apples and oranges both contain natural sugars. So now they're talking about what both apples and oranges mean, like, together now. So they talked about apples, they talked about oranges, now they're talking about what is similar now. Another English problem, pronunciation. I know, there's a lot of words that don't sound like how they appear. A medium-sized orange has about 12 grams of sugar, while an apple has about 19 grams. On the other hand, more people drink orange juice than eat oranges. Drinking juice doesn't require the effort of peeling. Orange juice, like apple juice, is very high in sugar. It takes 4 oranges to make a single cup of orange juice. Unlike apple juice, many people consume orange juice every day. Juice that is high in sugar can cause people to gain weight. So there's a little bit of some negative aspects into drinking juice then. You don't want to drink too much juice because then you're going to maybe gain a little bit of weight. So then they're going to come to their concluding sentence here. Apples are a healthy snack and are easy to grab on the go. Oranges, though they require peeling, are also very good for you. Side by side, in fact, oranges offer more nutritional benefits than apples. If you eat an orange a day, you'll get 100% of your required vitamin C, as well as other important minerals. Choosing orange juice out of convenience, however, is not a wise choice. Stick with an orange a day to keep the doctor away. Water gang! Or everybody drink some water if you have some. Okay, so that is an example right there to compare and contrast orange juice and apple juice and the fruits in general. I thought that'd be a funny example. We all understand fruits, I think. So I think that's also an important example too. If you want to take another screenshot, go ahead. You can underline everything that you think is important. Looking at this very, very short essay, I can already tell that they have like their topic sentences and exactly what they're going to be talking about. And then they conclude about what they think is the better option and how they argue which option is better as well. So they have like some negative aspects in there too for like which one is, or like the positives and negatives for like which one is easier to go with, which one isn't. It is literally comparing apples and oranges. But yes, I did want to show everyone a few examples. I think this shows also you got your ideas. So for example, we got to this is what you learned today. You learned how to do a Venn diagram to compare and contrast your waifus. This is what you learned. I did this on Microsoft Word because I did not want to handwrite everything. Sometimes I'm a little lazy to handwrite. It's okay to type sometimes. When you want to compare two characters, you have the differences and then you have your similarities right in the middle. It's a visual way. Some people are visual learners. I myself am a visual learner. You also learned a few vocabulary things. You learned how to do the words for overlap, point form, what is relevant, strike a balance, transition, resemble, whereas, scrutiny, pale in comparison, and correlation. You also learned today how to compare and contrast, and how to compare and contrast in more other ways. Oops, here just a minute. So how to use your adjectives for comparing and contrasting, and also how to evaluate your comparing and contrasting. Oops. How to show relationships between things, and using your transitional words, which I think are very, very important. So, if anybody has any important questions, you can use the little hand emoji to like raise your hand if you would like to. Anything that is relevant to class. If it's something that is not relevant to class, then I am so sorry. But I hope you learned a lot when it comes to writing an essay, how to write one in a fun way. But I think, in my opinion, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Asuka and Rei pale in comparison to Misato. Misato is the superior waifu because she is older, mature, and a badass. That's where it was coming from. That I debated everybody. I debated all of you because Misato is the superior waifu. She was the superior waifu all along. And I think a lot of people like to say Misato is the better waifu the older they get as well. I think it's just a fact. Misato is the one who's superior. If you don't know who Misato is, she is the superior choice of Eva waifus. She's very, very cool, and she has a gun. Why is she superior? She has a gun, she has a cool jacket, and yeah. There she is! There's Misato! Where are my sources? I keep my sources to myself. I'm kidding. Sources, me, myself, and I. You know what? We'll do another lesson about like where to find good sources and where to find how to explain your works cited at the very end of your essay as well. Oh my goodness. But I could take a few questions right now, but oh my gosh, how embarrassing. Does not recognize waifu as an actual word. Some things to talk about maybe for like Spirit University then. I hope you all enjoyed today. I hope you enjoyed Bobber's Gotcha lesson earlier today as well. Look forward to Akilight and look forward to Dr. Mo's lessons as well. We are all going to be doing... This is the thing that I explained during the last live stream, but we are going to be doing lessons, but we're also going to be doing office hours as well. So you will see me for office hours on Sunday. Sunday, we get to chill, have a nice relaxing time. I think we can play maybe a little bit of some Ready Fish and putt-putt racing. Oh. Okay, here's the thing. I was thinking about this a little bit later. I know there's a lot of people who want to do academic, like essay writing and academic English, but I did get a few responses from some other people who want to really, really practice their English as a second language. There's a lot of people who want to practice like English, like as their, well, like second or third language as well. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to balance out the academic and I'm also going to balance out the very basic English as well. And you never know, it might help some people. We can do some very, very basic grammar and we can do some identifying specific parts of sentences as well, let's just say. Exactly, we'll do some cute point and click adventure games. It's basically, we're gonna hang out with each other. we're gonna be teacher-student pals. And then we can go for a little drinky after class. That's like the best part, right? I hope it did help. And if you need to check out the VOD again, the VOD is going to be on YouTube. Everything will be available. And oh my gosh, I love all the memes. Okay, here's the thing. I read what you say in chat as well, right? I read everything you say in chat. I'm keeping it all up. I keep it all up in my head. So That's going to be the fun thing. We can do some, I was thinking like children's like games because I think it'd be really funny to like revisit the nostalgia, but we can do a few other things too. I think you're going to have to get some snacks ready for Miss B's next live stream. I think she's going to have some snacks and goodies ready for everybody. Oh, in the future, will practice worksheets be provided? I think that's something that we want to think about later. I think we want to try to deliver worksheets at a different time, but I don't know if it's possible at the moment. But we can talk to the other teachers if everybody wants worksheets, though. I know that this is still like a very new project, and I think we're still trying to think about more ideas to make things better for everyone in the future. Something that I wanted to suggest to everybody, Miss B mentioned this in her last live stream, but make sure if you see anything that's funny in any of the live streams, if you want to clip anything, if you want to clip something, or if you want to share something on Twitter, I think it really helps the engagement for the Spirit University live streams that way. So the more engagement that the channel gets, the more we'll be able to teach you fun things. Learning how to use a shotgun. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to... I think that's something for after class. Oh my goodness. And that's the thing. As long as you can screenshot things like throughout the lesson, if the teachers happen to like go too fast, just make sure to take some screenshots if you need to revisit it later. So, one last time. Is there any more questions before Tane Sensei has to get going? I have some dinner that I'm going to be cooking for tonight. It's more better than IRL teachers. As long as we can make it fun, that's what's we're going to be very, very happy. we're trying our best. We're going to try our best. Do I watch JoJo? I do watch JoJo. I do. Because I think like this is something we can talk about during the teacher hours. If you have any questions for the teachers like during their teacher hours, they would be very, very happy to answer lots of things. So if you want to talk about anything like anime, if you want to talk about, oh my gosh, where are my hands? If you want to talk about anything like anime related or like video game related or like other things like that, that's when we get to hang out. Oh, I see Miss B. Hello there, Miss B. Hello. So, if there are no more questions, then I think it's time to skedaddle for recess. Oh, I see another one. Is there a schedule of what we will be learning? I would like to study ahead if possible. Ooh, we got some keeners. Ooh, I'm not too sure at this moment. I think for the future, we want to put like schedules, like very detailed schedules on the website in the future. But I think for now, we're going to be teaching what we think is the most beneficial. But if you have suggestions, we're going to obviously stream them for the future though. We are trying to think of the most engaging ways to also deliver the lessons as well. So it's not going to be like in a dry way. It's going to be in a fun way because anime waifus are amazing. Learning is fun. And I think as long as you like what you're learning, then I think it helps a lot too. Can I say poggers? Of course I can say poggers. Here, just a minute. Oh, come here, my little pog champ. Come here, my little poggies, my little poggers, my little pog champs. Come to Miss Tane. Come hang out after class. I'll see you during office hours. I'll see you after. We're gonna hang out on Sunday. You're all pog champs now. Also, everybody in class. A+++. A++ for today. Yeah. I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. I know that Mondays are difficult. I know some of you told me it's already Tuesday where you are. So I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you on Sunday then. We're going to have a fun time. My class is always going to be on Monday, so I will see you basically like back to back. I will see you Sunday and then Monday. So have a great week. I will see you on the weekend, and I hope to see you all there. Thank you so much for attending. You're all lovely, lovely students. I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.